everybody, and welcome to the 15th race of the 2025 VTuber Racing Series season. It's been a long time since I did the 14th race, and I do apologize for that. For those that have missed it, every race from now till the end of this season, which will be the next 10 races, including this one, will be pre-recorded. They will not be streamed, so I do apologize on that, but I wanted to get this season out and done, and I don't know when that was going to be, if I was going to have to stream these last 10 races of the season, so I had to quickly, scuffly, and at the very least attempt to record the rest of the season. But nonetheless, at the very least, we'll still be as focused on the action as possible over the course of today. With that being said, let's go right on ahead and let's get into today's race for today with looking at the points for today's event. It is a nice little gap between the top two in the championship hunt as Donkey Bird holds on to a 19-point gap over Soleil and a 20-point gap over William. So the battle right now for the championship is actually right now at the highest for second place, as it's only a 1-point gap between second and third place, and then it's only a 4-point gap once you get back to fourth place of Noriboshi, and it only continues to spiral in the direction downwards from there, as Competito is sitting fifth at 25, and all those drivers still have a shot to not only take second, but could even take first in the championship hunt here at California here today. Outside of that, Kaito Nasa sits sixth in the points, 40 points back. Italian Jojo sits 48 points back, and then Weebu in 8th place in the points sits 52 back from the championship leader at the moment. A lot of those drivers still have a shot here to, at the very least, still be in championship contention after today's race, depending on how the 3-car does here today, so keep an eye out for that. Everybody else on down from 9th on down, basically Mint and Kyoso, they don't necessarily have a shot, but they could still get closer after today. This is the 10-race stretch where you're going to notice a lot more championship talk than the last 14 races, because we're entering that stretch where this is it. If you have a bad race, it'll probably take you out of the championship hunt altogether. And at the very least, you don't want to finish outside the top 30, let alone anywhere beyond that. One more quick update before we get into qualifying here today. This will be the last season of this series. I made this a talking point in the last couple of races, was going to make it a talking point in the last couple of races of the season, that certain drivers may have a shot to make it to next season. Other drivers may not be able to based on points. If they're 100 or more back from the championship leader or the champion at the time, they would have to re-sign up, or they would have to be out of their rides for the season going into the 2026 season. But this will be the last one. As unfortunate as that may be, I've decided to only do 2 seasons of this series and then move on from there. The reason being that I may not actually be a VTuber in 2026, or at least not long enough to create a long series. Let's move on to qualifying for today's race here. Some notable names at the back of the field as we run through qualifying real quick. David and Ruby will be the last 2 drivers starting in the back of the field here today. They'll share that last row, and they definitely need something here this week, because David is sitting deep at the points in 23rd after another abysmal finish at Atlanta last race, damn it. And obviously that wasn't meant to be. And as well as Ruby, who also starts on the last row, they're sitting 19th of the points after a pretty good race at Atlanta, all things considered. There's that. David lost 6 spots of the points. Ruby gained 6 spots, but right now they're going to have to gain a whole 38 plus positions if they want to be near the top of the field. Queso 38th, the NASA 37th, Larry Reed will start 36th. Competito, a championship contending driver, 5th place of the points, starts 35th here today. 34th is William. They'll be starting deep in the field, and they're going to need to make something happen here as championship leader starts up front today. Spoiler alert. Jojo starts 33rd, Mint will start 32nd, Shalad 31st, and Soleil, second place in the championship hunt, starts 30th. So a lot of championship contenders starting 30th or worse here today, but we'll continue to move forward here. Zed will start 29th, Doki Bird 28th, Ina starts 27th, there's Doki Bird, the championship leader, starting 26th. I lied. A lot of championship contenders will be starting from the back of the field here today. Merryweather starting 25th, Stuffy 24th, Shy Lily 23rd, Ironmouse starts 22nd, Kiri Kilovolt starts 21st, and Chris will start in 20th. Starting on the top half of the field, Jordan Brunch, who had that wild wreck with Shy Lily at Atlanta last race, will start from 19th place. Subaru starts at 18th, Dreamer 17th, Medtrix 16th, Melanie Bell in 15th, Michi 14th, Asa in 13th, Kohai in 12th, Greg in 11th, and entering the top 10 for today's starting spot is Kudo Kudanai. Entering the top 10 even deeper, we got Utica Fujikura starting in 9th, Fifi in 8th, and Getu in 7th, Starlight in the 6th spot, starting inside the top 5, Angelina Kamalo, DJ Overdrive, Zool, Weebu, and 2024 season winner at California of Kyoso. They'll start on the pole for today's event. So, with that out of the way, let's go ahead and take it down trackside for the race here at California. 125 laps around this speedway. Field rolls off here as we get set to go racing here at California Speedway. Take a good look at this track here. Kyoso does a thing or two about this track. Sorry about the voice crack. They know a thing or two about this track because they won here last season in the 2024 running. And they actually are starting on the pole for today's race. They could make it. They could make it 2 wins here at California. So we will be keeping an eye on the championship hunt here today, but a lot of them starting from the back of the field, so that will be something we will be keeping an eye on at about 125 laps from now to see where they end up at. But since they're starting from the back, we'll have to focus on a couple drivers that may not be championship contenders now, but they may be championship contenders later in the season, maybe. I have to keep an eye on that here. Pace car rounds the final corner. And we'll shoot to the left here into the pit lane. 125 laps around this 2.5 mile circuit. The now defunct California Speedway is green for the second time in the VTuber Racing Series. Evenly matched going into turn 1 for a lot of drivers. He also takes that commanding lead. They'll be 3 wide behind. Kamalo moves up to second. We will losing a ton of spots. Falls outside the top 5. Kamalo takes that bottom line, trying to make something happen off of turn 4. 3 wide, maybe 4 wide in the backfield there. Kyoso will lead the first lap of today's race. Zool in 3rd. Getu in 4th. And whoa! Look at that slide. Kamalo takes the lead out of turn 1. What a move. What a move. Run by the 20. They'll take the lead down the backstretch into turn 3 confidently. Still a lot of battles still left undetermined. Go back behind the top 10. It's where we find a ton of drivers, including the 11 of Weebu, who still is now struggling to stay on that high side there to make it work. Went from 10th place on the first lap to back to the 20s. 4 wide almost. Shy Lily's in the mix at the front of this pack, along with JoJo. And they are 4 wide with a ton of drivers. Wheel to wheel. Oh, that was tight. Oh my god, they almost got together. That was Kilovolt and Michi that almost got it together. Goodness. Oh, I think Chris was in the wall right there for a second. It looked like it. Still hanging on. There's David in the background here as well. Now popping up inside the top 20. Took a little bit of time, but there's a 77. Also William in the mix as well. Former points leader. Hanging on just outside the top 20. And the bottom line is definitely going to be a dominant line to be in this track here, but the middle line may be able to work in the favor. This is back deep in the field, though, as most of the front runners have kind of settled themselves out to where they want to be at. Closest battle we got up front is for second, and that's 3 cars battling for that mix. Also Zool and Get2. Jordan not too far behind them in 5th. Merriweather 6th, and this is a good battle back here for 7th. With Greg, Bell, Shylily, and JoJo, along with a bunch of others from behind. The tail end of the top 10 here. A couple drivers here need some runs of their lives for the last 10 races of the season, might I add. Kamalo's one of them. They're leading. Good run for them so far. But obviously with this series, just because you lead early in the race doesn't mean you're going to be up front in the second half of the race, where it matters the most. Almost 3 wide for the 10th spot. Definitely 3 wide behind. Metrix down there on the bottom. Indianapolis winner. Big block by the one of Ina on Kudo. Just behind the 45. Okay, Birds in the background here. Let's go see where they're at. Also, line 26 the last time by. That's where the championship leader runs. Soleil, who's second, is running 35th at the moment. However, I'm not entirely convinced that that's on speed. More so strategy. Good strategy. The way that it was looking early on in this race, you definitely want to be at least in the back for the most part. Once things start settling out, make your way up to the front. Make sure you got your stuff intact. Couple position changes up inside the top 5, though. Jordan's up to the 3rd spot. Getting by Get2 and the 21 Azul. I mentioned earlier in the qualifying, they had a good run at Atlanta, and then it all was gone before it was all gone. Because I got involved in a pretty crazy accident with Shylily. Especially for Atlanta. That basically negated what was a solid run by the 15. Very entertaining race. Very entertaining race at Atlanta. And right now the 15's looking to try and, at the very least, show some consistent speed in the last couple of races. Maybe the finishes aren't necessarily the telltale sign of the 15th season, but they've had speed. They've had some speed throughout the course of this season. They just haven't had the finishes to make up for it. They're now up to 2nd. We'll see if the pace continues in the favor of the 15 throughout the course of today. Looking strong so far. They're going to battle their inside. Kilso looks to get back up to 2nd place. This is, by the way, 2 seconds. A little bit more than that. 2 seconds behind Kamalo in 1st. Who also needs to have themselves a solid run. Pull. There we go. As it stands right now, Kamalo is sitting in the 28th spot in the points. They did gain a spot from the last race, but they definitely need they need this run that they got right now, but they need it to continue for the next 115-ish laps. 2.5 seconds, because these guys are battling each other very aggressively. I mean, there's 6 cars under a blanket here for the 2nd spot. Jordan, Kelso, Merriweather, Get2, JoJo, and Zool all battling. Nose to tail, door to door on each other. 27 slides up the racetrack, but will stay out of the way of the 23. because of what happened in Atlanta. The 15 at Jordan Brunch is now currently running in the second place on track, currently sitting 16th in the championship standings. Tied for that 15th spot with Kilovolt. Now that I actually look at it, they're both 75 points back from the championship leader. Although, as things stand right now, Doki Bird currently riding 23rd at the moment. Oh, somebody's on the wall. Is that Zen? It was. There's a 7 that brushed the wall off 4 there. Also, a lot of speed. Oh, the right side's all bent up. Holding up the 420 of Soleil. You are going to probably see that more as this run goes on. The car will get tighter as the run moves on, and as that happens, you're going to see more cars drift up on the exit. Especially in 3 and 4, you don't think that wall is going to come and bite you. It will. It will. There's still some good battles on track. A lot of it's spread out to the groups, as if that's not anything new. Currently, the championship leader is running in the 23rd spot. 3 wide for a battle here. This is for, I believe, this is for the 13th spot? Looks like it. 13th or 12th. There's a lot of battles being traded right now. And the speed's up there, by the way. We're up to the 200 mile an hour mark. Going into turn 1. So it's not like they're going slow. They are definitely humming around this racetrack. Gyoso's fallen back to the 5th spot at the moment, being challenged. 23 at get to. Meanwhile, 3 cars have moved on from that. 2nd, 3rd, and 4th are now chasing. They're actually chasing down Kamalo. Merriweather showing some speed along with Jordan and JoJo. They're right up in the mix with the race leader of Kamalo. So at one point, Kamalo had a 2-second lead, and now that lead's dwindled down to less than a second. Less than half a second, actually. Let me see another lead change here momentarily. I don't know if it's a 20 car that's just losing the grip or the balance on the front end there. Or if the 60 just has a better long-run car. Either way, I mean, they're kind of leaving the 27 and the 15 back there in the dust as well, so it's probably coming down to 2 cars. We aren't seeing the cars even drifting down the track, too, through the corners. They're really utilizing that middle line as their main line. They can make the bottom work. Don't get me wrong, we've seen that a lot. But they're not really utilizing the bottom as their main line. They're using the middle to kind of run around. Looks like JoJo and Jordan are starting to catch up to the back of the 60 car, so they will be at the very least in contention here. If they battle up front, they will. There goes Merriweather to the bottom. For the race lead in turn 2. Will he get the runoff exit? No, the 20 will. There comes JoJo. What will he do? They'll go to the bottom. Make it 3 for the lead? Yes, make it 3 for the lead. Here comes JoJo to the inside. Merriweather in the middle and Kamalo up top. Who gets the run off the corner? It looks like Kamalo. Oh, that's close though. Game is stuttering a little bit. I do apologize. I don't know why my computer's been starting to do that with not only this game, but iRacing. Kamalo hangs on the lead. JoJo second. Jordan third. Oh, that was tight. Meanwhile, the battle for 5th heating up. There goes Noriboshi there. William just behind them, and Shalon as well. A couple new drivers up inside the top 10 that I could talk about. A battle for second may be on the horizon here because Kamalo's starting to build a small gap. Not a big one, but enough that it's closer to second than it is to first for the lead, or for the battle, I should say. But it's still a 4-car battle for the lead here. Between a couple drivers that are looking to, at the very least, improve upon what happened at Atlanta. Kamalo gained a spot in the championship. JoJo gained 5. They're 7th at points. They're the best out of this group of cars, by the way. As I with Jordan's little incident, taking them down to 16th in the championship. They're the only other driver inside this 4-pack here that could maybe contend for the championship late in the season. Merriweather currently sits in 29th, just behind Kamalo, fun fact, in the points. So, in the championship hunt, the best driver in this pack right now is JoJo, and he's running 7th in the championship, 48 points back. They're the only one that's really taking advantage of what's going on with the 3. Currently running in the 31st spot. Lost a couple spots from the last time I saw. This could be one of those races. If this continues, this will be one of those races where it could dramatically change how we view the championship as we move on to our next couple of races. That'll be interesting. That is kind of how Donkey Bird got the championship lead to begin with. At one point, it was William having a dominant championship run. And then all it took was a few bad races, a few bad results, and next thing you know, we're talking about the 3 being on top of the championship hunt instead of the 10. William had at one point a full race lead over the championship hopefuls. Now he sits 20 back in the 3rd spot in the championship. He still has a shot. He's actually running in the 7th spot, which is really good for him right now. He's the best out of the trio up at the top of the championship hunt. JoJo's looking for the race lead, and he's got it. Go to the turn 3. Clears a 20, at least for the moment. Ooh, at least for the moment. Oh my god, he slides up big time, the 20. Woo, that was close. Woo, JoJo leads. Kamalo barely misses the turn 4 wall. Falls back to 4th. And JoJo just got tight underneath the 20, and next thing you know, they both slid up the racetrack, try to compensate for it. That was almost near disaster. Meanwhile, 2nd spot still up for grabs here. If they continue to battle, JoJo could build his own little gap here for the lead. Oh, Kamalo thought about it. Kamalo thought about going 3 wide in the middle there. That would have been entertaining as hell, though. 100 to go here at this race, by the way. As we've ran the first 25 laps under green, we have completely strung out everybody into small little packs. This 4-pack here is for the lead, and then you got 2 back here for Shalon and Noriboshi. 5th at 6, 7th is Kason, 8th is William, 9th place Getu, and round out the top 10 is the 47. David's actually climbed just outside the top 10, I should say. He's 11th, or at least trying to take it. Starting from the dead last spot, David's showing some speed early on. Good run for them. They're going to need it desperately. They're 23rd at points after what happened in Atlanta. Okay, so NASA in 20th as we get back through the field. There's Donkey Bird, like we said again. Donkey Bird has climbed up a few spots. It's been a couple laps since we last saw them, but they're climbing up inside the top 30. And they're wanting 2 more spots. They're going underneath Michi and Iron Mouse. How deep will they send it, though? Not too aggressive. Not too aggressive. I don't blame her. Too early in the race for that. 2nd place in the championship hunt, currently 35th. And Ruby Nekomata, who started in the back, is currently still back there. Last 2 on track is Chris in the 73 and Copetito in the 5. For Competito, this is definitely not what they wanted. They're 5th in the championship hunt. They still have a shot at it at the moment. But with how they've been struggling, I don't know if that's going to continue. And the only driver inside the top 10 with 2 wins of the season. Not the only driver with 2, but definitely in terms of the championship hunt, they are up there as the only driver with 2 wins. So, unfortunately, though, a few bad results, including a bad result here, is going to negate that kind of achievement. Kamalo back to the inside for the lead, and the 2020 car has been incredibly dominant today, leading all but a handful today. And it looks like that'll continue unless Merriweather has something to say about it here in 3 and 4, and does not. So Jojo falls to 3rd, but probably get back to 2nd here if we get a shot at it here. Yeah, he's underneath a 60 going into turn 1. Relying on that. If these 4 continue the battle, we may see the pack of cars behind here actually climb their way to this mix as well. Get more cars battling for the lead here. Kason looking to get up to 5th. So this 4-pack here is chasing the 4-pack ahead. If they run 3 wide, I don't think they'll be able to catch them. But if they continue to run single or double file, they may make it happen. Whoa, that was tight. Williams really enjoying, though, the fact that the 2 other drivers of the championship are also struggling, because right now William would take back the championship lead. Not by much, but I think would still be a double-digit lead for William in the championship hunt at the moment. The battle for 3rd. I say that the 4-pack behind that we just saw could catch this 4-pack. It was down to like 1.5 at one point in terms of the seconds, but because they're battling side by side at even 3 wide, went up to 2.5 there. And it's still going to stay roughly that as they cross the line this time by, so it's still a bit of a gap. But Kason's free, and if they could continue to build a gap, it'll make it a 5-car battle for the lead. Because right now, Shalon, Noriboshi, and William continue to fight it out. Get you behind them as well. This is a gaggle of cars still. Back for the 10th spot. David now, who started dead last, will actually creep their way into the top 10 now. Good run for them. Oof. As this run gets them farther and farther, gotta get a little bit more concerned about how aggressive these drivers take turn 3 and 4. A lot of sliding. Oh, golly, the 30 went into the 18 there. That's what I was talking about. Good Lord almighty, that was close. Kudo made that work, I'll give him that, but that could have been disaster. 2 races in a row for the 18. Oh, Bell's in the wall. They'll lose. My voice. They'll lose a lot of spots. They'll fall to the back of this pack here. But they're hanging on right there. They're fine. I think damage-wise, they're pretty fine. Look, didn't see any damage. It's a 2-piece for the lead, and then 2-piece for behind and 3rd. So the 4-pack of cars have split. Single file back here, so that should help their gap decrease a little bit. Bilkenberg's still struggling back here in the back half of the 20s. 29th at the moment. Oh, Weeby with Zool almost hooked each other there. That was bad. Whew, that was close. We saw Zen get into the wall off turn 4. And you can see the damage slightly on the right side there. It's a little dented there. Because of that, they are back in the 37th spot. And they're just hoping that they can get a caution here. Or they're hoping that the pit stops arrive at some point in the future, because they need to repair that damage, and fast. Well, something happened with Dreamer. We saw them up front at one point, but now they're running 40th. And way off pace. I say way off pace, but they are a little bit quicker than some drivers, so I guess they might have gotten into the wall. We might have missed it. I don't see any damage, though, on the 89. Whatever the case may be, we are 35 laps into this race here. Kamalo's led most, if not all of the laps. Oh, actually, Dreamer's one lap down, so I guess if I had to take a wild shot, I think they pitted. So the 89 is off sequence with the rest of the field. I can basically assume that because not only are they running faster laps on a lot of the field, but if they're also a lap down, they definitely pitted and we just missed it. So Dreamer is the first car to enter the pits, although I believe it's off schedule. So they're the ones that need the caution the most because they could get back on the lead lap. Jojo was taking a peek to the inside there for the 20. Not close enough to make a move, but that could have been that they were looking to make a move if they got the run. Back to that little pack of cars that we saw early on for that 10th spot. Looks like Shy Lily and Kudaro are battling once again. At the front of that, I should say, for the 10th spot. Yeah, it was Shy Lily, Fujikura, and Jordan, the three blue cars that were battling at Atlanta when two out of those three took each other out. Very unfortunate set of circumstances there because that was a hell of a race. A really fun race, all things considered. Right now, it is still the top four, roughly the same order as before. Kason in 5th, Noriboshi 6th, Shalad 7th, William in 8th, and 9th is Get2, and take a pick as to who would be in 10th place. Currently, it's Shy Lily, but Kuro has a run on the high side there. 12th is David, 13th is Fujikura, 14th is Mentrix, 15th is Kyoso, 16th is Bell, 17th is Snuffy, 18th is Greg, 19th is Kohai, 20th is NASA, 21st is Starlight, 22nd is Ina, 23rd is Asa, 24th is Larry, 25th is Iron Mouse, 26th is Michi, 27th is Subaru, 28th is Fifi, 29th is Weebu, championship leader running in 30th of Doki Bird, Zool 31st, 32nd of Overdrive, 33rd of Mint, 34th, second of the championship is Soleil, 35th Kilovolt, 36th Zen, 37th Ruby, and last on the charts is Dreamer, who sits currently one lap down. Chris Cobb, 38th and 39th. Those were the others that I missed out on. They are on the lead lap, but they are about to fall a lap down as the 20 is catching these two. They're about to cross the line to start their lap 40 right now. And Kamala's about to cross the line to start lap 41 right about now. So they're about several seconds ahead of the leaders, but that's only going to continue to dwindle downwards. So we're going to get lap traffic here if we don't get pit stops or a caution here momentarily. And if strategies vary between tires and strategy and stuff like that, that might happen, that might not happen. We'll see. Not entirely too sure why my game likes to stutter right now. I'll have to update stuff on my computer later. Tied off 4 there between JoJo and Merriweather, but that clean racing so far. Kamalo builds a lead, and now it's a 3-pack for the second spot at the moment. Jordan, big slide up into Merriweather. Oh, that was tight. That was close. The 4 cars behind the top 4 are catching that. They're getting bigger and bigger in the some of these shots here. Slider by the 15. They'll take 3rd, but not for long. Here goes Merriweather. Oh, my God. I don't know if he was very... I don't know if that was a happy move by the 60. That move will surely allow the 94 to catch up into this mix, I believe. If not, one more battle like that will make that happen. Side by side back here between 3 cars. Got the 10 of William almost into the 17 of Shalon. And Kason just behind him as well. 20's in the pit, so we got pit stops now. So pit stops here on lap 44 will commence. I believe that was a scheduled stop. Let's take a look. Is anybody else in the pits? Hard to tell from that angle. I think the 20's the only one in. Granted, a lot of cars haven't pitted or coming across. Okay, so there's a few more that are coming in. Asa's one of them. You just got to remember that this is a very spread out field. It's a very spread out field right now. A couple more coming in, I believe. No, I thought they were coming in, but I guess not this time. Let's take a look here and see if anybody else comes down this time. Doesn't look like anybody up front for the most part. No, there's a couple. I think, yeah, there's get to. Man, that's more than 10 seconds. You know, it doesn't feel like it's more than 10 seconds until it's like, oh, that was a 10-second gap between the top 5, top something like that pitted, and the rest of them coming in the frame. Jordan's coming in. Looks like Nori Boshi is coming in. Ooh, contact between them and the 15. Calm at the moment, though. Little contact. Innocent contact. Couple drivers from the top 10 coming in. There's Kamalo, who just pitted. Couple more. Then 69's coming in. 53. I believe, for the most part, that's basically all of the front runners. See some more coming in this time, I do believe. I think JoJo might come in this time. A little high on that entry there. Not a good entry in 3 there. I think 27 will stay out, but the 60 and the 32 will come in. Couple more cars coming in this time. So we'll keep an eye on the 27 at JoJo here, and as well as the 20 at Kamalo when we get to it. JoJo's all by himself at the moment. I'll pull up the leaderboard once again. They're the only ones, I believe, that... Yeah, I think they're the only one that have not pitted. And maybe a few others from... Maybe a couple others haven't pitted as well. We'll see. I do believe the 20 would be the first car on track once things have settled out. At the very least, be right up there in the mix. JoJo's coming in. There's Doggy Bird in one of the earliest stalls. And still in the pit stall after completing their stop. Now they're coming out. My God, what a terrible stop by the 3. All right. Is there a good camera shot that we can find? No, not really. All right, so we'll be flipping. So right now they're on the back stretch. JoJo still getting serviced. And on their way out. Oh, look out on pit road. It's like a bad stop for the 15. They're still in their stall, and they're still in their stall, and they're still in their stall. Yeah, that's going to be a big loss of time by the 15. Here comes the 20. Way ahead of the 27 here. They will be the first car once everything is all settled out. And they'll have to battle with lap traffic, as a lot of cars are now going to be even more in bad shape. Not only more spread out, but you also have cars that have had bad stops. We'll go through the field when we can. Won't be now. Gotta wait, I'd say maybe one more lap before we go through the rest of the field. There's Ruby Nekomata right in front of the 20, but they are not on the lead lap. They're actually going to go one lap down. Whoa, okay. Whoa, speed difference between the two cars. So that's going to put the 38 one lap down. I believe the only... How many cars are on... Ooh, that's a lot. Ooh. Jordan's still in the pits. Oh, boy. Oh, no. The bad luck continues for the 15 at Jordan. From Atlanta to now, they are still in the pits. They've been in the pits for several laps now. Wow. That is absolutely heartbreaking right now. Alright, let's go through the field here after pit stops on lap 50. At the moment, Kamalo has a very commanding lead over the 32 of Kason. Shalon in third, Jojo fourth, William in fifth, sixth is going to be Noriboshi, seventh is Merriweather. Eighth place is Get To, ninth place will be Dreamer at the moment, 10th place Kurokudo 9th, 11th Kohai, 12th Greg, 13th Mentrix, 14th Snuffy, and they got Bell passing Shy Lily for, I believe, the 15th spot? Correct me if I'm wrong, please. Scoring? 15th? 16th. Nope, 15th. 16th is Shy Lily. 17th is Fujikura. NASA in 18th. Starlight in 19th. 20th is Ina. 21st is David. 22nd, yes, is Michi. 23rd is Kyoso. 24th is Larry. 25th is Fifi. 26th is Asa. 27th is Subaru. 29th, 8th, I should say, Iron Mouse. 29th is Mint. 30th is Weebu. 31st is Doki Bird. 32nd, Overdrive. 33rd, Soleil. 34th is Zool. And 35th, Kilovolt, 1 lap down. 36th, Ruby Nakamata, 1 lap down. Chris Cobb, 37th, 1 lap down. 38th is Zen, who is also 1 lap down. 39th is Competito, 1 lap down. And last on the track is Jordan, who is now back on track after spending several laps in the pits. But they're also 1 lap down. According to the scoring right there when I looked at it. It is a huge lead right now for the 20 car. They had a solid stop. Like, probably the best stop you'll see all season long was that 20 car stop. Not only did that get them the lead, I got my 6-second lead. It may have been a 2-tire stop. Maybe. That is the thought. Could it be a 2-tire stop on the 20? Maybe. Not saying it could or couldn't have been. I don't have that information. What I do know is it is quite crazy that the 20 was able to jump out 5 seconds plus from everybody else. It could have been that if it was a 4-tire stop, it could have been that the fact that the 20 car had not only clean track, but also fresh tires for more laps than what Jojo and the rest of the field have. So if fresh tires mean that much to these drivers, you may see some more next time pit early on, as they're going to try and jump the rest of the field like that. I don't know if it was a 2-tire stop, but I do know that because of the fresh tires, that could be an advantage now. Maybe not so much later. Because we have seen that strategy being pulled many times this season. Somebody's going to pit early, and when they do, they will be seconds faster. Not tenths of a second, literal seconds faster than the rest of the field. So when that does happen, you can get a jump. But that does mean that you will lose out on time later in the run. So right now, Kamalo has a 5.5-second lead, but I believe that has fallen from what was a 6.5-second lead. However, with these 3 continuing, I should say 4, but Chris is not in the mix on the lead lap. But if these 3 leaders continue to battle for the second spot, that's only going to make it better for the 20. They may not gain time, but they're not going to lose time as quickly. still gaining time, but definitely not as fast as they should be. Because they're battling each other and they're losing time by battling. The reason why it's gotten so spread out is because of the fact that when they're battling side by side, you slow yourself down. So that's why you see either a big pack or a group. Or just a handful of cars, or even so, maybe just one car. It's been a really bad day for the 38 team, not gonna lie. They really need a caution, and they really need more than that just now. And with everybody battling back here for the second spot, it's allowing Kamalo to hang on to this strategy call and make it work. Does the 20 have to deal with anything around them? Not so much. They've had to lap a couple cars, but I wouldn't say anything bad. Not yet, at least. They got clean track until they get into this mess right here with a couple of championship contenders here. The top two are right next to each other in the championship hunt. Unfortunately, it's not for a good position. It's 28th at best. That's where Kamalo sits, just all by themselves, which, not a terrible thing, to be honest. It's not a terrible spot to be in, especially when second and third and even fourth place, they're striking each other left and right. But I do think that there's got to be some level of communication by these three. They want to be up. If they want to be back in the mix for the lead, they got to work together and stop taking runs when they get it. Because right now, they've ran, what, like 1 or 2 laps just by themselves, not battling each other, and they've gained time. I mean, look at this. Like, JoJo is gaining on the cars behind because behind they're side by side. And he's all by himself, so he's gaining time just by being alone. JoJo by himself takes it from a 5.39 to a 5.10. Still 2 tenths, not bad. I mean, it wasn't many laps that Kamalo ran on these tires that they're running on. It was like maybe 4 or 5 laps, depending on the driver that you want to think about. So they pitted. They pitted right when they needed to, and it was like almost a perfect, I would say, basically perfect call by the 20. Any later, and it wouldn't have really worked out as well. Any earlier, and it would have made them fall deep in the field. It's down to less than 5 seconds, but regardless, what a move by the 32. Good God. That was a very successful slide up the track. That was crazy. I've seen a lot of slide moves happen in this race, but that one was up there. All that for third place, by the way. JoJo gain any time that last time by? Doesn't really look like it. Not a whole lot. Quick update on the 15. It does look like he is at the very least 1 lap now, and he's up to 36. I thought he was going to be riding around 40th, but that's at the very least he's 1 lap down. And nobody is out of the race. All 40 cars are still on track. And Zen's just not having a good day because not only did they hit the wall, it does look repaired. So they did get repairs done on the 7, but that did also cost them a lot of time on track too. So that's a very unfortunate day for them. A lot of unfortunate days, but that is kind of what you expect from racing. Soleil has passed Okie Bird for the 28th spot. I'm just saying, that would be crazy for the championship, because Soleil would gain points on Dokibert. But if we're looking at the championship hunt right now, William needs to finish right now. He's currently in 6th. I think if he holds on to this and Dokibert on that place in 29th, I think that's going to be more than enough. Because William's 20 spots, 20 points roughly behind, which is 20 spots on track. Because points, like I said, one position is 1 point. And unless William can lead a lap or win, never know. It's just right now he's going to have to be playing this by position, so track position. Leading a lap gets you a bonus. Leading the most laps gets you another one, but I feel like the 20 is going to hang on to that by a wide margin. The 20 will get that lap lead lap bonus, or most laps lap bonus, sorry. However, while we were talking about that, it's now down to 3 seconds. Maybe less than that now. Now 2.5, so something... I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because JoJo's by himself and he's just running his faster laps. He's got 3 cars to get by, though. Whew, that's a lot of cars to get through. Seen this a lot, though. A lot of leads dwindle throughout the course of the run. The 20 maybe saving up their stuff. Maybe the 27 has just been running their absolute fastest while they can. Combination of both. Ooh. 27 can get by these 3. He's got a lot of space in front. Get to the 20. It's getting through them as clean as they could possibly can. Slipped up on the exit of 2 there, but a gap, big enough gap to slide up if they need to. Looking to get by the 34 kilovolts. Not going to be able to do so here. But off 4, though. Still a good place. Don't get too close. Don't get too close. That's not for position. Don't get too close. That's for position. Good lord. Whoa! Trouble! Zool and Jordan. Turn 1. That was a tight move. Oh, look out. A lot of the front runners get by at least. Ugh. Well, Zool's day is basically done, and Jordan's bad day continues to get worse. We'll take a look at it here momentarily. That's a very unfortunate circumstance. That did involve Kason, by the way, but I don't think they really got anything out of it. I think Kilovolt will be the first car 1 lap down. So here's another look at what just transponded here. Kason was trying to get by on the inside here, going into turn 1. And Zold kind of covered it up there. Should have stayed. And then it was just, look at these two. Just, they both slide up. Bam! Right into the 15. Yeah, just unfortunate for Jordan. There were 2 cars sliding up right underneath him, and that's what caused that. It was just these 2, so... Plus Kason, who didn't get really any damage from it. But a very big set of unfortunate circumstances here between what we saw at Atlanta with Jordan and Zool just not having a great run in Atlanta. Well, now that things are settled, does look like we are going to see pit stops here. At least from all the lead lap cars. Yeah, most of the lead lap, if not all of them, are going to come in this time. So we are going to get another pit stop here, which should take us to the end. We'll see how pit stops here take effect. Top 2 are going to have a good advantage over the rest of the field. Not a whole lot. So the cars that are staying out on track right now, they are all either a lap down, I think for the most part, except for a few cars. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll go through the field when we can. Big break for Dreamer, though. They'll be at the very least back up front. Kamalo comes out ahead. Looks like Kason will actually get ahead of the 27. Doesn't look like there was a lot of bad stops. I think David lost a couple spots there, but we'll keep an eye on that here. This time by, we have a couple cars that are a lap down that are going to be in, but this also is going to lead us to a couple cars staying out. We got 5 cars that are staying out on track ahead of the 20. It's going to be Kohai, Ina, Iron Mouse, Soleil, and Dogie Bird. Ooh. That's ballsy. I can understand it. All of those drivers were struggling today, and they are going to be up ahead of the rest of the pack. That's how things stand as we get ready for another attempt at a restart, I should say. Should be getting the 1 to green here this time by, so let's go through the field and where everybody's going to be stationed here with about 50 laps to go here at California. Be Kohai, who has the lead in front of Ina, Iron Mouse, Soleil, and Dokie Bird. Those 5 drivers are all going to stay out on track. A little bit of a ballsy move, but I can understand it, especially for the 2 championship contenders, 4th and 5th. 6th place is going to be the first car on the fresh tires, which is going to be Kamalo. 7th place at Kason. 8th place at Jojo. 9th place will be the 17 car of Shalon. And then just behind them is going to be William in the 10th position. 11th place at Getu. 12th is Noriboshi. 13th is Merriweather. 14th is Mentrix. Kurdo in 15th. Michi in 16th. 17th is Kyoso. 18th is Greg. 19th is Dreamer. 20th is Snuffy. 21st is Fifi. 22nd is Starlight. 23rd is NASA. 24th is Asa. 24th is Larry. 26th is Shy Lily. 27th is David. 28th is Fujikura. 29th is Overdrive. 30th is Mint, 31st is Subaru, 32nd is Weebu, 33rd is Bell, and 34th is Kilovolt. Then you got Chris on the bottom, as well as Ruby, Competito, Zen, Jordan, and Zool, all a lap down. But still, all 40 cars will be out on track here. Nobody has wrecked out, and nobody has had a mechanical problem. So we get this restart here. It will be lap 74, so we will have about 51 to go. Oh, this is going to get interesting, folks. Pace car is in. Green flag's back out. Got the 15 that's damaged, got the 21 that's damaged, and you got 5 drivers that all have old tires. And it's going to get crazy here. 4 wide into 1 here. Oh boy, this is going to get dumb, I believe. Soleil's going to lose a ton of spots here. Stay clean. Or stay clean, little bit of contact. 4 wide in many spots of the track. Soleil has lost a ton of spots. Oh, Competito slides up in front of the 3. Clean off 4. Oh my god. That was the most... They're still stacked up big time in the back, though. Oh, man. Oh, there we go. There it is. Oh, the 4's upside down. Greg's involved. Zool's involved. That was not good. Still racing back as tightly as we just saw turn 1. Whew. Go High still hangs on. With Ina and Doki Bird second and third. Well, let's take a look back at what just happened. Kind of saw this happening. They were 5 wide going into turn 1. Fifi lets out a little bit. Who gets into who here? Mint slides up a bit into Fujikura, and that just kind of made the 51 bounce into the 4. And that's kind of expected. That takes out a couple more cars, and that makes the 21's day even worse with that damage to the front end. I think that'll effectively take them out of the race, and as well as the 4. I think the 4... Larry will be done for the day. Looks like Greg will be mostly fine. A little bit of damage there, but a ton on the 21. I think that'll effectively take him out of the race entirely. And it looks like some of the drivers that stayed out under that last caution, I think they've realized what their mistake was. I think they're going to be going into the pits. I think they were expecting that this run went a little bit longer so that they would have the fresh tire advantage. But it was just an unfortunate mistake by a lot of these drivers. I think Kayson's also going down as well, so the 32 is coming in, as well as a handful of other drivers are coming in. Doki Bird's in. We knew that. Kayson, Shalon, William, Soleil, Asa, Iron Mouse, Starlight, NASA, and Dreamer, Overdrive. Those drivers are pitting. As well as Greg, but he's coming in for damage. So a very interesting set of circumstance here. Some drivers are opting to take... Some drivers that stayed out, all the drivers I should say that stayed out, they're coming in for obvious reasons. But there's a couple that are coming in, I'm not too sure why. Williams going to be back in the mix here, so the 3 championship contenders will all be around each other, leaving Noriboshi to be the best car out of the bunch, and they'll be up inside the top 5. So that's very interesting moving forward. One to go here at the California Super Speedway. So this is how things turn out here. With a little less than 50 to go, it's going to be Kamalo who retakes the lead on this restart alongside Jojo in second. Third place at Get2. Fourth place, Mentrix. And fifth place will be Noriboshi, who we just talked about. They're the best out of the top 5 of the championship standings. And it's not even close. Noriboshi has a clear shot at the championship now that the other 4 drivers will be not in this picture whatsoever. 6th is Michi, 7th is Kudo Kudanai, 8th is Snuffy, 9th is Shy Lily, 10th will be David, 11th of Kyoso, 12th Mint, 13th of Fifi, 14th of Merriweather, 15th Subaru, 16th of Weebu, 17th Kiri Kilovolt, Fujikura 18th, 19th of Bell. 20th on back will be the drivers that just got done pitting. Kohai, Ina, Doki Bird, Kayson, NASA, William, Shalon, Soleil, Asa, Iron Mouse, Starlight, Overdrive, Greg, Dreamer, and Ruby Nekomata alongside Chris and Competito, who took the wave around. And the only one left on track on the inside line at the very least is Zen in the 7th, so it should be a little bit of a cleaner restart here on lap 79. I say that, look at everybody fan out, Jesus Christ. Alright, already 3 wide. Noriboshi making it maybe 4 wide. Jesus, don't do that. Get to in the 23, trying to make something happen here. They might go through for the lead here. Slightly cleaner this time than the last restart, although they're still really bunched up 3 wide. Jojo on the outside trying to hang on to that lead. He's going to get it. Whoa! That was close. Oh. Clean off 4. 4 wide, though. Ooh, look out. That'll dwindle to 3. There's still another pack that maybe go 4 wide here. Oh, no! Oh, save it, brother. They did. Oh, my God. Whew. That's all I'm gonna say. Too close for comfort. Second place up for grabs here. Hanging on to it. It's a 20 at the moment. Still 4 wide in the backfield here. Oh, man. Oof. Some drivers are getting into it with each other here. Yeah, I definitely don't know if pitting was the smartest move for a lot of these drivers. That takes William out of that top 10 equation that we were talking about earlier. Now he's back in the back half of the field. Not entirely sure what the strategy call was there, unless that wasn't a strategy call, but I'm not too sure regardless. Moriboshi still hangs on inside the top 5, so like I said, out of everybody inside the top 5 in the championship points, Noriboshi is the best out of the bunch, and it's not even close. Let's go through the top 5 in the championship hunt as we were entering today's race. Yoki Bird currently sitting in the back half of the field in the 30s. Just around them is going to be Soleil, just behind the 3, more importantly. Not too far ahead of the 3 is the 10, who we were talking about earlier, not only being the championship leader at one point in this season, but was, if Matt serves me correctly, the leader at one point, championship leader, during this race, because they were the ones inside the top 10. But that honor is now going to the 94, although they're losing spots. Moriboshi's 23 points, back from the championship lead. That's not going to really matter. That's either going to be single digits behind, or they're going to be single digits ahead of everybody else. Second place on track, though. Whoa, that was close. A lot of sliding up by these drivers. Kohai went into the pits first, and look at him. The tires really are working wonders for the 28. Restarted 20th. It's up to 5th. Maybe even better. 4th place. All in what? Less than 10 laps of racing? Good strategy. That was a good strategy call by the 28. Meanwhile, JoJo's pulling away. Out to about a second and a half. Couple drivers looking to have themselves a better second half of the season. And we were talking about JoJo. JoJo may actually be in the contention here. The championship. Looking at his championship hunt at the moment. Coming into today's race, he's sitting 7th after what happened at Atlanta. Gaining 5 spots. He's 48 back from the championship leader. However, a win here today, especially in this kind of race, will easily slot him back inside the top 5 in the hunt. Less than a race of a gap, which means JoJo could easily, with another chance like this, could easily take the championship lead away with only a handful of races left. Right now, Kohai is running fast laps. He's up to 2nd at the moment. Kohai. Let's talk about him really quickly. 1 win on the season already. Gained 6 spots. Digging themselves out of that hole that they dug themselves in early this season. Currently in the 14th spot in the championship hunt. 74 back from the start of today's race. I don't think it'll be enough to make it less than a race. But at the very least, a second here today will definitely make it less than a race and a half like it is right now. They have a good chance here. If they get another win, that'll be awesome for them as well. I think if anybody needs it more, though, it'll probably be Kohai because he's farther back. For JoJo, it'd just be more of a reassurance that he'll be in the championship hunt after today's race, moving on to the next race. I mean, we still have more than 40 to go. Less than 40, I should say, to go. Not more than. Less than. But they're hanging on to a big lead at the moment. With just about 35 laps to go, if this does stay green, this is the run to the finish. JoJo, Kohai, Kamalo, Overdrive, and Getu, that's the top 5. Kurenai, Shy Lily, David, Mint, and Kilovolt round out the top 10. Mentrix in 11th, Bell in 12th, 13th, and Noriboshi. Ugh. We'll talk about that here in a second. 14th is Snuffy, 15th is Ina, 16th is Shalon, 17th is Ruby. What a run for Ruby. Oh my god. From dead last to 17th. Whoa, contact ahead of them. My god. Ruby can maybe gain a couple spots out of that. 18th, Fujikura. 19th is William. 20th is Starlight. 21st is Kason. 22nd, Asa. 23rd is Weebu. 24th is Doki Bird. They're climbing. They're climbing. Oh, Jesus. Oh, my God. That was bad. Wow. That was just as egregious. And Soleil got the worst out of that. Lost a lot of momentum. It's a frustrating day for Soleil. They're probably gonna finish in the back half of the field if nothing changes here shortly soon. And there's Dreamer, who we saw hit under the last caution, but they're back to where they are. They're back to being on schedule with the rest of the field. They were off schedule a little bit, but because of that first caution, they were able to stay on the lead lap after going a little bit longer. They were able to stay on the lead lap, and then once the second caution hit, they were able to get back on the same schedule for the pit stops. So at least Streamer will have a good finish despite what could have been a horrendous finish because of their untimely pit stop. Gap shrinking to less than half a second between the top two. David trying to do something here to get back inside the top 5. But as we were talking about with Noriboshi, they have fallen back, and they're falling back more. They were in line to take the championship lead, but now with this situation building, with the 94 falling back, that's only seeming to get worse. It's only seeming to get a little bit worse and worse for the 94. They've fallen to the 16th, and now they're going to lose that to Ina to make it 17th. Williams, the next best car in that championship hunt, back in 20th. Oh, what is happening here? Oh, somebody's around. Oh, no! Trouble for Michi, Competito, and Subaru, as well as Greg again. Oh, no. And Dreamer just got into the pits again. Oh, no, Dreamer's involved. That's why. Oh, my, no. So, actually, what just transponded was Weebu in the 11 and Dreamer. A little bit of contact with Asa. This is not what brought out the caution. Oh. Dreamer just gets sent into the wall. They obviously keep it straight, but something happened here, which did bring out the caution. What happened there? So the next time by, Subaru, Michi, and Competito go 3 wide. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. vicious hit for Michi in the 2 car. Oh my god. And then Competito's going to come right into the 31's crosshairs there. It's going to get them involved. Wow. That... When did the caution come out? That might have saved Dreamer. Did that save them? Caution's not out, not out. Well, actually, I wouldn't know if it's out or not. I can't... Oh, no, is it out? Yeah, the caution lights are on. Okay, so that did save Dreamer and Weeboo from going 1 lap down. Because right now, they don't have the caution. They're not under caution. Boom. So that'll save them from going a lap down, I do believe. So another lucky break for Dreamer and as well as Weeboo, who now have to pit because they have scraped, if not bashed, the outside wall. I guess it is a pretty good strategy call here to go into the pits. With less than 30 to go, you do want the tires to make it to the finish. And anybody that pitted would have the best advantage. So why not everybody coming in and getting the same advantage? So there's that. I think maybe a few drivers may stay out, though. There may be a few that take this opportunity to see if they can last. It does look like there are a handful that did stay out. We'll follow up on that momentarily. So who do we have that stayed out? Looks like Shalon, Jordan, William, Dokibird, and Soleil. Why am I not surprised? And Dreamer and Weeboo, they'll stay out because they have pitted. So this is going to get interesting again, because Dreamer and Weeboo actually don't have damage. They just hit the wall. Dreamer has the worst damage out of it. If they took tires under that stop, this is going to be a lucky break for the both of them, regardless of what we just saw. Maybe, if it works out. 4 wide, oh boy, get that sorted out. This, oh, and Kamalo, did Kamalo beat Jojo off pit lane? Maybe, oh, a few drivers did actually. Oh boy. Had a little bit of a shake-up here in the running order. Oh, Jordan's staying out because he's a lap down, so that's kind of obvious there. So this restart here with less than 30 laps to go, Jordan did pit, by the way. I wasn't too shocked that he didn't. This restart here is going to be very crucial. So we have 4 drivers that have stayed out, I think. Looks like it. Shalon, William, Dokibird, and Soleil. They're going to be ahead of Kohai in the 5th spot. Ina in 6th, Starlight in 7th, Kason in 8th, Shy Lily in 9th, Overdrive in 10th. I believe a lot of these drivers took 2 tires, maybe, because they jumped out ahead of Jojo and Kamalo, as they're 11th and 12th. 13th is Mid, 14th is David, 15th is Kilovolt, Kudo is in 16th, 17th Noriboshi, Asa, 18th, 19th, Ruby, 20th, Snuffy, 21st, Medtrix, 22nd, Getu, 23rd, NASA, 24th, Fifi, Fujikura, the rest of the field on back. Dreamer and Weeboo have decided to go back into the pits, possibly to finish the repairs. I believe they probably just took the tires and went out, because they didn't want to actually go a lap down, because it's a little complicated. I don't even think they knew if they were on the lead lap or not, I'm going to be honest. Because they are on the lead lap. The only car that isn't isn't on the lead lap is Jordan on the inside. I believe Greg as well. I think he might have retired. Pace car is in. Yeah, Greg has retired. So, yeah, the only car a lap down is the 15 car. Green flag's out. Regardless. What's going to happen here? God only knows. I don't. William hanging on to that 2nd spot. He's going to have to. Right now, this is bad news for everybody who wants that championship hunt to be theirs, because 3 out of the 5 are in the top 5. 4 wide like we've seen all throughout today. Soleil not having a good race today. I don't think it's going to get much better if they get set up the track like that. How do we handle turns 3 and 4? Someone's in the wall. That's Jordan. Still hanging on to it, though. That splits the field. Oh, God. Here we go. 5. Here we go. This is it. This might be it. This is it. Big one. Oh. Oh. It's 2 cars. Ace is in the pits. Oh, my God. Shalon continues to lead. Yoki Bird hanging on a second, but Shy Lily's underneath, trying to take that spot away. These restarts have been killer to a lot of these guys' strategies. Good day by Merriweather, all down the drain there. Let's go back and see what happened. We're really spotlight the 45 here, but look what's ahead of the 45 mostly. Because of what happened with the 15 getting into the wall off 4, that caused a big chain reaction. You got 1 row of 4, and then another of 5. Contact. Merriweather gets loose, or I guess tight would be the better term. It just gets yanked around, right into the 45. Bam! Hard on the wall, they both go. Crazy enough, that was only a 2-car wreck. That at the most involved maybe 3 if you count the 51. Kyoso, look at that. Wow, just barely. All of that, might I add, that I think the 24 got sent as well. So at the, I think... Yeah, look at this. There was even this up front between Kilovolt and JoJo. Look at this. I noticed this on one of the runbacks. I saw smoke. I was like, what happened here? This is what happened. This is back where JoJo was. Boom, right into the 34. Oh, man. Saved it. Unfortunately, they did not. Back here. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. And coming around the first time here, we're going to check and see if anybody decides to pit here. I don't know if we're going to see anybody do some pit stop stuff here. Some drivers look like they are. Now some of them are pulling up to the track. Looks like the 3's going in. Doki Bird, not a good call by the 3. They're going to be one of the only cars to pit. It's going to be very interesting, championship-wise, because now the points leader has decided to do something in the pits. I don't know what. It's a very questionable call by the 3 team. I don't know what the 3's doing. They're in the pits, and they're the only ones in the pits. They're going to go back to the 30s. They're allowing everybody second on back in the championship to have an opportunity at the championship lead. There goes Asa in the 14. They'll get the wave around as well as the 15. I think Asa, same thing that happened with them, with Dreamer and Weebu. They crossed the line while the yellow was out in the pits, which means that they were technically under caution, and they were able to stay on the lead lap. Or at the very least, they were able to keep a lap. I don't know if they are a lap down or not. I just assume that if they are on the lead lap, that they save themselves from going a lap down. All right. So we'll have less than 25 to go. It'll be close to 20 to go when we get back going here. And this is what we got heading into, hopefully, the final restart attempt here today. 17 is Shalon, who stayed out under that last caution. Got the 18 is Shy Lily, William, Ina, and Overdrive just behind them for the top 5. Kason, Mint, Soleil, Jojo, and Kilovolt, who the last two out of they just named almost got involved in a wreck. We'll round out the top 10. Then you got Kohai, David, Snuffy, NASA, Ruby, Starlight, Noriboshi, Kamalo, Fifi, Vijikura. That rounds out back to 20th place. Then you got Getu, Kudo, Kyoso, Chris, Melanie, Weibu, Iron Mouse, Zen, Dreamer, Subaru. That goes back to 30th. 31st, Doki Bird, who we just saw pit. Another questionable choice, but Meriwether continues to run, although how damaged? Very. Very. And Asa and Jordan will be the last two in the pack here because they took the wave around. Let's see. Yep. All 34 cars on track are on the lead lap. Everybody from 35th on back are out of the race due to the wrecks that have transponded today. Ventrix will finish 35th, Greg 36th, Competito 37th, Michi 38th, Zool 39th, and Larry in last. We'll have 23 laps to go when we do get the restart here. This will be a very interesting restart. Hopefully a little less aggressive, I hope, because if we're running these last 20 laps under caution, Shalon may have the strategy to win here. Pace car is off, and we're set for another restart attempt here on lap 103. Green flag, green flag! Who's going to have the advantage? First side-by-side battles for second. William takes it. Well, maybe not for long. Uh-oh, we have more cars in trouble. Keeping it straight behind. That was Getu and Fifi that I saw way up the track. Comes across over by the 18. Looking to the inside of the 17. Into turn 3 and 4. Gets it. Shy Lily leads. Three wide on the backfield here. I say backfield, but this is fourth place at best. Ooh, that was close. William's going to lose a couple of spots here. Still the best out of the top 5 of the championship hunt, at least. Shy Lily runs away for the most part at the moment. We're keeping an eye on this battle for third. But we're still keeping an eye on what's ahead, just in case. Trying to get as many cars on frame as possible here. So you see what's going on. A little less aggressive racing here. Still some 3 wide, I believe, in the back. Maybe 4 wide. Almost, but not. Oh, look out! There's a 23 sliding up. Oh my goodness. That got tight. Mint up to second. I watch the battle for second here as the 17's looking to cross over. If they continue this way, Shy Lily could easily cruise their way to a win here with 20 to go. If the trends continue to be the trends, Ruby Nakamatsu's up in the mix as well. Top 5 for them at the moment. Like I said, they were on the verge of... Oh, okay, I might have just jinxed them. Oh, I might have just jinxed them. I am sorry that I did. Shunted up the racetrack. Still keeping it straight. Good save. The slide-ups are getting more and more aggressive. The slide-ups are getting more and more aggressive by these guys. Even in side-by-side racing, the slide-ups are getting a little bit too much. 1 second gap between the top 2, by the way. These slide ups continue to be this aggressive. We are going to get another big wreck. Whoa! Especially if it happens when they're side by side and not 3 wide. Noriboshi trying to get back in the top 10. Try to at the very least salvage what has been a very up and down day for them. Whoa! Boy, that was tight. That could have been a disaster. Comes Zen in the 7. This is a comeback story here. They've had a few cautions go their way. They're back on the lead lap, and after the damage repair that took them down a lap, they are back in the mix. I kind of figured they had a fast car. It's just that that damage and that first pit stop definitely didn't help them at all. But now that they've had a few cautions go their way, they've been able to not only pit and get the repairs done, but they've also been able to pit and get the car adjusted right, and now they're just outside the top 10. And there's been a lot of strategy calls being going on here in this race. I'm kind of intrigued by it, not gonna lie. Up at the front, Kaito Nasa is up in the 2nd spot. I mean, we were talking about that, like Ruby Nakamata, for instance, another driver similar to that same story, just didn't have the car at all in this race, in the first half of the race. A couple cautions happen, they get into the pits, they adjust the car, they make some changes to it. Get a few lucky breaks. Next thing you know, here they are, top 5. Top 5, maybe top 10 day for the night, or for the 38. Maybe even better if they continue this streak. Noriboshi inside the top 10. They are the best car inside the top 5 of the championship. Right now, Shalon hanging on. They restarted up front, but you got to remember that they stayed out. They've been staying out on older tires than the rest of the field, and they're starting to fall back because of it. I would have understood if the 17 went into the pits under that last caution, but they did not. And because of that, they're now way deep. They're falling back, I should say. Way deep in the field is the 10 and the 420, as well as the 3. Although the 3's made it back to the 24th spot, still not even close to where they need to be. Noriboshi, though, still hanging on, but this is going to be one of those races where everybody inside the top 5 in the championship hunt. They don't want to win. They don't want to be up front this race, apparently. So it's only going to make the championship hunt even more interesting, because if the top 5 don't want to be the champion, who wants to be champion at this point? Kaito Nasa would be next on the chopping block at 6th in the standings, but he's 40 points back. But something here today, a win or 2nd place, will definitely put him inside that 20-point mark. He's going for the lead, and he's got about 15 laps, a little less, to make it happen. Whoa! Another big slide up there. Give me a little bit of a bump here by the 12. Nope, he's going to look to the inside. Overdrive, trying to not overdrive the corner there, but the 18th is going to get the run off 4, and NASA's going to lead this lap. They're first today in this race. Ruby Nakamata in this mix as well, so we have quite a number of cars up here. Ruby Nakamata, 19th of the championship standings. DJ Overdrive, 26th of the standings. And Shylily lower than that. All right. 11 laps to go here at California. And the top 4 have pulled a gap. Snuffy in 5th. Yeah, Snuffy in 5th. Kurokurodai just behind at 6th. Mint looking underneath at 7th. Zen in 8th. Kyoso in 9th. Kilovolt 10th. Fujikura at 11th. Noriboshi 12th. Bell at 13th, Get to 14th, Kohai 15th, Shalad Falls 16th, Ina 17th, Weebu 18th, 19th and 20th. Actually, 19th is Fifi, 20th would be Kason, and the rest of the field on back. That's how things settle here with 10 to go. Second place up for grabs here. If they continue to battle, the 84 may pull out. A nice little gap. Seen that all day today. That might not change. Although the aggression's starting to pick up a little bit. They're starting to get closer and closer to each other, trying to pitch each other off exit. Overdrive hangs on to that second spot at the moment. He'll hang on to it. Shy Lily, though, trying to peek back inside. They'll stay side by side down the backstretch here. Overdrive trying to get the good run off the backstretch straight here, and will do so, clearing the 18, and throws the block on her. Still a 2-second gap between these 4 cars and the pack behind. Keeping it on this battle for second here as NASA's starting to slightly put a gap between second on back. Desperation's going to start taking over some of these drivers. They know that the championship's in their grasp. They're going to get more desperate today because they know that they can get a lot of positions and a lot of points in general. Points are up for grabs here in this race. Who knows if it's going to be that same story in the next race. Overdrive continues to chase down the race leader of Kaito Nasa. He has 1 win of the season, 2 top 5s, and 3 top 10s. Coming into this race with the least amount of laps led on the season. Outside of, inside the top 10 points, I should add on. He's the only driver with less than 40 laps led inside the top 10 in points so far this season. Snuffy's not too far behind, but they're in 11th place in points. Shy Lily looking for that second spot. Woo, that was a camera cutoff. I thought for certain there was going to be a wreck. Shy Lily takes second. Although Ruby's right behind. Five laps to go here at California. Could it be Kaito Nessa's second win of the season? Could it be a redemption race for Shy Lily? It's been a redemption race for Ruby Dekomata. Can they cap it off with their first win of the season? And then for Overdrive, can they get their first win of the season? And not only that, but also, at the very least, do damage control on this championship run that they unfortunately will not be able to capitalize on unless they go on a hot streak here or these last 10 races, I should mention. 4 to go. And Shy Lily's not out of the picture. It's only 4 cars, so that's not a lot of pressure for the 84. But it still can be anybody inside the top 4's game here. The 2.5 second gap to 5th on back, so these 4 are going to duke it out the last 3 laps. And if a caution comes out now, it will be race over. There will be no way we could get this race back green if a caution does come out, so you never know when that's going to come. With less than 5 to go, you got to make that move quicker. Especially at a track like this where we have seen a good amount of cautions. And if desperation started to increase on these drivers, they are going to start throwing more and more haymakers that aren't going to land so smoothly. 2 to go. 3 to go, rather. Shy Lily's there. It's close now as it was. It's close. It's close. Shy Lily looking to the inside. Just peeking, though. Not making a move. But just peeking to the inside. Getting a run off 4. 2 to go. Will she make the move anytime soon? Still say single file as we enter turn 1. It's barely a 1/10 of a second difference between the two at the line. It's barely a 1/10 of a second right now. Nose to tail off of turn 1 here. Turn 2, I should say. Down the backstretch. Next time by will be the final time down this backstretch. So what will the 18 do? How will the 84 defend? Here we go. It's going to be a good finish, folks. White flag in the air. Kaito NASA leads. Shy Lily not too far behind in second. Ruby in third. And the only other car in the frame that can win it is Overdrive. Shy Lily gets a good run off of turn 2. The move is being made down the backstretch. Here she comes to the bottom. Well, there'll be a send here. Slightly. A little bit of contact. More contact. Pushes him up the track. Off of turn 4. They bump. They wreck. They spin. They all wreck. They all wreck. Ruby gets through. She wins it. Oh my God. They all wrecked. The top 4 all wrecked each other on 4 there. Oh my. Oh my. What a finish. Wow. Snuffy snuffs out a second. Kudo gets 3rd. Kilovolt 4th. Oh my God. Overdrive still gets a 5th place. That's Ruby's first of the season, folks. What a finish. Ruby started in the last row, by the way. Not dead last, but second to dead last. 39 positions. No, 38 positions is what the 38 managed to pick up on this race. Whew. Whew. What a finish. Let's go back to that and see that finish again. So I really want to go back to turn 3 here, because that's what Shy Lily just tried to send it. Looks like both them and NASA just kind of got into each other here. Somehow, some way. It looks like right here it was going to be a side-by-side battle off of turns 3 and 4. And then Shy Lily sent it in a little too deep, couldn't control it. A little bit of contact. You be the judge on that. But yeah, look at, like, yeah, Overdrive gets involved in this. Ruby was able to just kind of get free of it there. And now, as we see what happened in first place crossing the line, what happens on here? Because this is going to get very interesting to the line. Oh, look out. Ooh, big shunt by the 7. Wow. So 7 gets involved. Really, I think we need to get a look here at the line. Doesn't look like anything else happens here, but man. Well, Donkey Bird was also in the pits too, coming to the line. So problem for the 3. That has basically solidified their day. Sadly. Another look at it here. Wow. That's up there. That's got to be up there with one of the finishes of the year. Oh my God. The top 4 wrecked each other, and the one that got through it all. Now that all that was taken care of, let's go through the official results here. from top to bottom, essentially. So, Ruby Nekomato, who, like I said, started in the 39th position, gained every single spot on track that she possibly could have to win the race and finish and lead one lap. That being the only lap that mattered the most. Snuffy finishes in second, Crudo Critter in third, Kilovolt, I should say, in fourth. Overdrive 5th, Kyoso in 6th, Fujikura 7th, Zen in 8th, Minta 9th, and Shy Lily still gets a top 10 out of after all is said and done. As we move farther down, we got Melanie Bell finishing in 11th, Noriboshi in 12th, Getu in 13th, Kohai 14th, Ina in 15th, Asa 16th, NASA in 17th. A very unfortunate result for them. They had the race basically won till it unfortunately didn't fall in the hands of them, apparently. Weibo in 18th, Keisan in 19th. Then you got Fifi in 20th, Chris in 21st, Jojo 22nd, Kamalo 23rd. A bad result for those two. They were up front the most all throughout today, including Kamalo, who leads the most amount of laps with 60, but unfortunately will not be able to have a good result. Show for it, 23rd for them. David 24th, Dreamer 25th, Iron Mouse gets 26th, Shalon gets 27th, Starlight gets 28th, and William gets 29th, followed by Soleil in 30th, Jordan 31st, Merriweather 32nd, Subaru 33rd, last car on the lead lap. Doki Bird came down on the white flag because of some sort of mechanical problem, don't know what, but they're the only car one lap down, 34th, and then everybody from 35th on down all wrecked out, with Medtrix 35th, Greg 36th, Competito 37th, Michi 38th, Zool 39th, and Larry in 40th. Now that that's out of the way, let's go to the championship points, because that's the most important part of this series. Dokibird still hangs on to the championship lead, but it's only by one singular point over Noriboshi. William and Soleil are tied for the third place spot. Kaito Nessa still gets a nice little jump in the points up to 5th, 22 points back, a tie for the 6th spot, as Snuffy and Kyoso are both 27 back. Competito 28 back in 8th place, mid to 9th, and Jojo falls to 10th place. And Weebu's the only other driver that is mathematically able to take the championship lead after the next race, as they sit 36 back, and the next car back is Kiri Kilovolt, who is 45 points back. So a solid gap between Weebu and Kiri Kilovolt for the moment being. The next race will be Bristol, so it is a short track, so this will be even more chaotic when we go to that racetrack. Good lord. Let's see, where did Ruby jumped up to 14th in the standings, 58 back, so they still have a shot here at the championship. They're about a race and a half back. Let's see, who else jumped up quite a lot? Fujikura jumped 3 spots. Overdrive jumped up 5 spots, now sits 21st in the standings. Kamalo, despite their not so great finishing spot, they still jumped 3 spots, but they're sitting 25th regardless. And that's basically that for the moment being in terms of the championship hunt. Just a not so great day for Doki Bird, but they still hold on to the championship lead, but not by much, not by much. And there's still 4, maybe 5, count it, 7 drivers that have a shot. Nope, you know what? I'll add in Competito with 8. So there's 8 drivers now that have a shot at the championship as we move forward to Bristol Motor Speedway here in the future. I don't know when that'll be. It'll probably be sometime later in the week. Maybe it'll be next week. I don't know if I'm doing 2 a week or 1 a week. Not entirely too sure yet. We'll see. But like I said, I do apologize that this is pre-recorded and not streamed, but I hope that doesn't make too big of a difference. Hopefully. But I appreciate the support nonetheless. We will be back with Bristol Motor Speedway for the 16th race of the season. We're now down to less than 10 races of the season, so yeah, let's have some fun while we can. I also do apologize that this is more ASMR-y instead of the more like more hyperactive commentary. It is way too late in the night for me, and I have folks asleep, and I don't want to be incredibly loud, so there's that. Hopefully I wasn't too loud, because that finish was very crazy. Thank you all so much for tuning in and watching. Take care and have a good one.